Good afternoon, everyone. Another recall of food. Lettuce, cabbage, carrots. It's demand destruction. There's shortages of these across the planet. Zimbabwe corn woes yet again. Unusually large Saharan dust cloud inbound. Loch Ness looking, central bank printing, and a visualization of inflation when $6 in 1940 could buy you these fine garments. So what happens when central banks print another $10 trillion in lockdown 2.0? In the year 2020, it's so important to keep your body functioning at optimal performance. And collagen may be the closest thing we'll ever get to a real fountain of youth. After all, collagen is the most abundant protein in your body and essentially the glue that holds it all together. When you're middle-aged, you're only producing half the collagen you did in your youth. My focus is about digestive health, because the change in our diets from foods being unavailable, moving to seasonal foods, and the entire spectrum of availability of foods changing. There's so much more to talk about with the benefits of collagen. You can visit healthwithadapt2030.com to learn more. The link's in the description box below. I'm becoming more and more convinced that when we see recalls, yes, I understand it's a health issue, but when I keep seeing maybes, potentiallys, possiblys right in the first paragraph of the news article, makes me wonder, is it more demand destruction? Because the items listed here, iceberg lettuce, cabbage, and carrots. Now, if you peruse through the news, you're going to see that carrot shortages happening right now, lettuce shortages, as well as the cabbage are running in very, very, very short supply. So my contention is, instead of showing you that there's a massive shortage, whatever the cause is, Grand Solar Minimum, labor shortages, they're still showing you there's massive shortages and the government can't take care to deliver your food, and you might start asking why. In case in point, just even from last week, these items may disappear from grocery stores next. Carrots, tomatoes, apples. And they specifically talk about California, people infected there not able to pick the produce, quote unquote, the world's salad bowl. Oh, wait, demand destruction for lettuce. Imagine that, perfect timing. Recall alert, perhaps demand destruction alert. So when you see these recalls, see what the items are, and then notice if there's a shortage of these, and you'll see how this is working in tandem to prevent the masses from understanding there's shortages everywhere happening at the moment. I want to jump down to Africa for a second. Here's Zimbabwe. Food security fears as corn harvest is going to be under to the point of needing assistance from the United Nations Food Program. Now, the news is going to tout it as, oh, they're increasing their production, but I lined up last year with this year. So last year, 2019, their harvests were slashed by over half. And even though the news will tout, oh, it's 17% bigger than last year, let's do the math on that. If you subtract 17 from 54, it's still a 37% decline. Now go around the world in any country and ask if their crops decline 37%, what that would do. And staying with Africa here, massive Saharan dust cloud moving across the Atlantic. This is going to be from, say, the 22nd through the 30th into July, first week. This is massive. So look for this more and more in the news, but if you are prone to dust inhalation problems, this is inbound, so you might want to prepare with an extra precaution, air ionizer, or whatever you're using around your house. Now, I've been talking about inflation and central bank money printing since last year, well before this crisis occurred with the lockdowns and the destruction of the global economy. But truly, what does inflation mean? And I wanted to give you this visualization here because on Zero Hedge they had some Sears catalog images through 1945. And take a look at the garment prices. Those are beautiful dresses. $6.98. Now that's the same US dollar that they were buying those in, but the value of it had much more buying power. Now how much would this cost you today to buy the exact same thing? These are fine garments. These are not mass textile production just sewn together in any happenstance fashion. Those were really nice. $6.98. And just so the media is not going to confuse you, retail stores were spiking in closures last year anyway. See, the economy was on a downturn and going to be crashing. This COVID is a perfect excuse for it to crash bring up the new cryptocurrency and explain away everything, lock down the planet as we intensify into this grand solar minimum. It was not because what has happened with the lockdown. This was happening before because of reckless money printing. So that dress that cost you $6.98 will cost you hundreds now because they've just printed more and more and more. Statistics like this, you know they're going to print even more and more and more on top of that. So U.S. shopping mall vacancy rates set a new record, eclipsing the great financial crisis of 2010 and the aftermath thereof. And now, because there's more regulation to go into anywhere, people are shopping more online, so you could expect these numbers to increase even further. And let's look at Loch Ness here. Nessie in the Federal Reserve. Red line is how much the Federal Reserve is holding of its own issuance, meaning when they try to sell Treasury bills out into the market, the U.S. government buys back most of their own issuance. It's a sham. They pretend like, oh, there's other people buying it. They're not. They're buying it back themselves. Look at that blue line. Was from the 10th of June, and you can start to see that other governments are selling off or not buying nearly what they were in the past. It seems that tapered off, 2017? That's foreign official held treasuries. Another country buying it. And I thought, well, let's see if Nessie's still trolling the lock here, and we are. Major central banks. They're all doing the same thing. From the Federal Reserve in the United States, the European Central Bank, Bank of Japan. The reason that dress costs so much more than today is because this same chart here, they're just printing and printing and printing indefinitely. So even with your minimal buying power that you have today, that's going to be eroded into 1/5 of 1/8 of 1 cent. Oh, that's $1 now. And it's going to continue to erode the more they print. And if we go into lockdown 2.0, it is truly game over, because I don't know how much they could possibly print to bring an economy out of that without us just stumbling over monopoly money, which was formerly known as U.S. dollars. And if that happens, your supermarkets are going to run dry real quick. So how prepared are you for emergencies? My Patriot Supply long-term food storage, along with the DAP 2030 2-week grab-and-go food crate or the 4-week food supply. Give yourself peace of mind knowing that you have food, stores for 25 years, and it's another way to support the channel so I can bring you more information like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.